So welcome back to another video. I've been to a local car meet and stumbled across this beautiful Renault 5. Bringing back the Max Power era, bringing back the old Renault 5s with K Tec and all them type people. Let's dive in, let's have a look and let's see what this lovely Renault 5's got going about it. So here she is. Got to appreciate an old Renault 5 because a lot of these rotted, got smashed up, small hot hatches, turbocharged. They didn't last long. That is why nowadays, when they are restored, you've got to appreciate them, especially ones that have that little twist for the Max Power era. When they're not too OTT, they're still subtle enough to appreciate them. Because this thing is literally, look at the body. It is technically, if you change the front bumper to a factory one and change the spoiler, you're at a factory Renault 5. Obviously, bad boy bonnet. But from memory, we've got a K Tec front bumper, bad boy bonnet, and an aftermarket. I would have thought this was part of the K Tec spoiler series. Couldn't really tell you. It's been that long since these cars were built, you don't know where the parts come from. Again, with every Max Power car, I had to have the smooth obligatory boot. Again with the bad boy bonnet. Oh, and it's not a factory rear bumper. Again, I would have thought that's part of the K Tec series of the body kit, because K Tec back in the day were massive on these. They would make 300 horsepower. They built one of the cars for the Ali G movie. You will have seen me film the Charisma car from the Ali G movie. K Tec, I think they're still going as well these days. Unsure, but again, they were very, very, very well known for building quality, fast Renault 5s. What you don't realise is they still sound the same. You only have that noise in your head and you can sit to it and go, yeah, that's an Uno, yeah, that's a Renault 5. You know exactly the noises that come with them. Obviously, personalised reg. Anyone who knows me knows I love a personalised reg. And this is Waxandaway, who are local to me in the Knutsford Services, Warrington, Manchester area, who takes care of a lot of high-end cars. This is his personal vehicle. And as you can tell, that is why it is so clean. So, other little things to pick up on are some Renault turbos, which again, give it that retro classic look. The bad boy bonnet. Anyone who doesn't know what a bad boy bonnet is, we would weld pieces in to make the bonnet look more aggressive than what it is. Giant front mount intercooler. I would have thought the mesh is new, but a bit of backstory of this car is, purchased this from a gentleman and he wanted it to go to someone special to look after. He's ended up with this car. He's going to now use it as a project. He's going to keep on building it, developing it, enjoying it, bringing it to shows, and I think you'll agree, it looks absolutely stunning. So let's dive inside. Let's get a bit of nostalgia inside, because I used to have one of these. So I'm diving in. 2 Kubu bucky seats. Again, if I was being particular and I'm speaking to the owner, the blue doesn't suit the car. But this car is only just starting its journey now, because the owner's now completely going over it with a fine-tooth comb, full paint, full interior conversion. So I think he's going to change them to like, I think he said he's having them possibly repanished with like a tweed set. He doesn't know yet, but this is going to start his journey of modifying this car. He's around the same age as me. And I think what we're finding is why the Max Power era is coming so popular. It's the new midlife crisis. That's what I'm saying anyway. So looking in here, let's just sit in here and bring back some memories. So it's got the Lockwood dials. Lockwood. If anyone remembers them, Lockwood would do all the white dial kits for every single car. They were super popular back in the day. That's what they were. The dash is beautiful. To say how old this is, I think it's 84. Really, really brings back loads of memories being sat in one of these. You've got the air fuel ratio gauge, the boost gauge. Anyone who has an air fuel ratio gauge, it looks pretty, but no one ever watches it. It's more there for a guy who's setting your boost up. But being sat in here brings back a lot of memories. I had the Vauxhalls, and like I say, I had an Uno Turbo, played one of them for a while. But one of my close pals, Pete, was a massive Renault 5 collector, and I think he's still got probably 5 or 6 of them sat around, from Gordini's to original Renault 5s. Factory gear stick, not very worn. I would have thought that had been worn out. The mileage is only 71k. which is super low. It's got these door cards. If you can hear that in the background, this is kind of like just up there is a supercar meet. And I don't like supercars, so obviously hence me just pulling this Renault 5 to one side. Nice little stereo system. Again, we all had the pop-off edge units, so you can just see it there. Nice full door speakers. I'll dive into the back and show you. Full show cage. Now, what they did with the show cages were, they were never really real. They were pressure bent, but they were all chrome for looks. Because again, with the Max Power era, was all about visuals and how things looked. So let's dive around the back and I'll get in the boot and I'll show you what's in the boot. And if this don't bring back some memories for people, the giant stripped out interior with the giant installs, this is what it was all about. So obviously you've got the two massive 12-inch subs with a little amplifier at the side and this very interesting design rear strut brace, which I've never seen anything like this on any of these cars, where it comes out slightly and then bends around. It's really, really nice touch. And obviously each for the harnesses inside. And this was what kind of everyone would do, would put a piece of wood, carpet it, strip it out, massive stereo system. This is like being back in the 2000s when I used to go to cruises all the time. But again, you can even look at the back here. Look at how clean all the inside is. It's been well looked after. Obviously, you know, it's not pristine because again, it is the start of this car's journey, but I think you'll agree, this is super, super clean. So let's have a look under the bonnet. Now these, back in the day 20 years ago, would scare me for the amount of hoses that went here, there and everywhere. Even today, I bet it would take me half an hour just to work out what everything does and where everything goes. K Tec and Samco and all them people would always present these beautiful engine bays where everything was chromed and clean and tidy, and then there was millions of hoses. So I bet back in the day they made so much money on hose kits for these things. But again, nice things like aluminium radiator, again custom catch tank, K Tec strut brace. Other cool thing was always it was a blow through carburetor, so no fuel injection on these. It would blow the, obviously turbos here, blow into the intercooler, and then it'd come into the carb, and it was a single carburetor blow through setup. How times have changed now with fuel injection. Mental. And then again, knowing my friend who has a lot of these, he has the early Gordini. That was a carburetor which blew into the face of the turbo, then the turbo would feed the inlet. Renault had their own little ways of doing them. And then another thing that I'd always pick up on these, which I haven't really checked up on, they were always a nightmare to do clutches on. And I remember you had to take the engine out to do a clutch. And if you had someone good, they would take the engine out. If you had someone who wanted to earn the money quickly, they would always chop this chassis leg out so they could build the box out of this section. So if your Renault 5 has it cut out of there, that is why. But I think you'll agree, absolutely stunning. Because these things could easily make 180, 200 horsepower, but with a few little bolt-ons and probably a slightly bigger turbo. Amazing little car, this. So I'll sign this video off. I think you'll agree the Max Power era is definitely coming back. And with cars like this, who cannot appreciate them? For me, this was my era and I love it, and maybe it is a midlife crisis, but I'm enjoying this journey of finding these type of vehicles, and they're getting more and more popular. Hopefully we'll see this at the Max Power reunion in 2024, because it's going to be an amazing event. Every year, the amount of cars that come out of the woodwork for that show is unreal. So again, I'll sign this video off. I hope you enjoyed that little snippet. It's not like an engine conversion type car would do too, but you've got to appreciate a lovely Renault 5. Take care guys, and I'll see you all on the next video.